Hey, so in this video I show you how to make a duck rillette at home. First, of course, we need some duck meat. I have duck leg and duck breast. You can buy them in pieces, or you can use a whole duck because you will also need a lot of fat. There's also duck fat rendered out already, which you can purchase at the store. However, I advise you to just get a whole duck and then cut it down. Just make sure that you trim off all the pieces, and every time you see some duck fat, you store it separately. And you can then use the carcass to make some nice duck fond and use the meat and the fat in order to make the duck rillette. And as you can see, I stored it separately, and we will need this in the process. As for the spices, I'm going super simple: some thyme, some bay leaf, and salt and pepper. Of course, you could also add something else there, a bit of spice, completely up to you. However, I like it simple because I want to focus on the taste of the duck. First, get the fat trimmings into a pot and render them out. We need to extract as much fat as possible. This will take some time, so have it simmer on low heat, put on a lid, and wait for like 20-30 minutes. And in the end, you can put out the fat trimmings, and we have our base where we can then put the duck breast in. Make sure that the fat side is downward facing, and then let the fat render out there. And then once they have shrunk a bit, you can add the duck legs, also fat side down. Already put some salt and pepper in. Add the herbs. And then if you do not have enough fat in order to cover the meat pieces, you could also add some water. The way it works will be the same, however with fat it will cook a bit more gentle. So if you have enough fat, just put fat into it and try to cover the meat pieces. And then let the meat simmer on medium heat at a maximum of 90 degrees Celsius, which is around 194 Fahrenheit. You can have the lid on in that time. And then afterwards, check the meat with a fork. It should now be very soft. If the meat comes off the fork easily, it's done and we can proceed to the next step. Get the meat pieces out. And then put the liquid through a sieve into a fat separation can. You could also use it, put it in a bowl and then use a ladle later on. It is important that we can separate the fat from the broth. In the meantime, then separate the meat from the skin and the drumsticks and put it in a bowl. Be careful not to add any skin, tendons or bones to the bowl, and then shred everything nicely with 2 forks and then put in the liquid. Put some liquid, put some fat into it, and make sure it's a nice and creamy texture. It should be a bit more loose than you might think, because it will firm up later once it cools down. Then you can get some jars and fill it in there. Make sure there's no air trapped inside. And then you can ladle some fat on top to cover it. And there it is. You can put a lid on it and store it in the refrigerator. And here you can see it. I put some fresh pepper on top with a nice bread. It tastes exceptionally well if you toast the bread before, so it has a nice crunch. Also, you can have some pickles with it. And yeah, let's give it a test. Wow. Yeah, the taste is so wow. The fat, the broth, the duck, it comes all together nicely. It's so rich and creamy. Can totally recommend. As always, the recipe is below. If you liked the video, then give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.